The ARCa Bulls team already knew that the inflection point to face further downside would be the break of 43.02. The closing target today was also a target previously mentioned. The real question is, where is the bottom, and is there a way to figure that out? But without confirmations, we can certainly spot a few bottom sides with speculation. Welcome back to the channel on this Moody Monday. This is ARCa. Let's dive into ticker symbol GTII. Let's kill him. What is up, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. Let's go ahead and dive in to ticker symbol GTII, and what we're observing here is, in fact, the 5-day chart, team, because the massive downside that we're facing right now is of a macro perspective, and it is important for us to look at it on a larger time frame to distinguish what the critical points would be, right? So I did talk about this with a few of my, you guys know that I trade with often with Cryptic Trader, right? So him and I were talking about the potential inflection points right here. Aside from that, we also have very good analysis coming out of analyst in ARCa Bulls team, Rhino. So please go ahead and share your thanks to the man himself, right? He's actually been covering this, helping out retail as much as he could, and we couldn't be more thankful for the man himself. So please go ahead and share and reach over to the ARCa Bulls Discord and say hello to him and check out the analysis that he's putting out, because the man does spend a good amount of time with retail, right? So please go ahead and share your respect to the man himself. He's a very talented trader, team. So let's go ahead and come back to the chart here, because there are a few things that he and I share that are similar, right? So some of the like, for example, some of the diagonal trend lines here. Not the best way to look at the markets, but it's okay. We can still use it because oftentimes psychology tends to bounce off things like this. First of all, I know that Rhino was using a trend line from this point here, right in the diagonal manner, so we can draw that in too. But I want to go ahead and show another perspective on this, because there is a different way to observe this too, right? So go ahead and take a look at this trend line here. So we have a potential bottom side if we were to I'm just saying here, okay? I'm just saying that if we were able to kind of succeed in finding support at this trend line here, then that would actually lead to a bounce at around 25.57. So actually, I think we may have gotten a 5-day closure, so it may be a little bit lower at 25.48, but nonetheless, it's still within the 25.5 cent area, okay? So that's an area that we could potentially find a bounce. I'm not going to say that this is going to be reversal here, but I am going to say that there is a potential bounce to be found there, okay? So in other words, if this thing does present a potential bounce in this fashion here, and then we get like a resistance touch of either 30 or into this resistance area that I was actually observing today, to be within the 33 to 34 cent realm, then that could be an opportunity to potentially remove risk from the table. Okay, team. So please remember that I am speaking about simulator trading. I'm speaking about paper trades and paper entries here. I am not speaking about a live trade. So please use this as for trading purposes and for entertainment purposes only, right? So let's go ahead and continue this, right? So if you do get presented with a potential to remove some of that risk off of the table, I would, I would potentially consider that, because this way you're slowing the rate of loss down, right? So instead of, so if you remove, say 30% position here, 40% position at this point here, you are going to slow the rate. In case we fail this area here, you're going to slow down that rate of loss by 40%, right? So if you're still bullish the asset, you can go ahead and reposition here a little bit better. There are a few targets that I would like to share with you still in following this video here. But yeah, just know that there is a way to do that, right? So instead of averaging down at this area here, wait for it. I would actually personally, from the simulator trade, remove risk off of the table, slow the rate of loss down on the way down, and then find a better positioning for this, right? But if I'm going to be honest too, team, I don't feel like this is the best asset to trade. I feel like this thing has trapped a lot of people, and there has been a really nasty inverse narrative on this. Okay, so it is in a very dangerous zone. This was the 43.02 that we failed, and we speculated on this over and over. Okay, so now, team, before I continue here, know that I am actually trading live. Okay, I am trading live every day, and I have converted the Discord into a private Discord now, completely for members only, where I'm uploading educational content, where I'm uploading some of the scripts and strategies that I'm doing in code, right, for PineScript and TradingView. I am also trading with you live. So this is an area where you can actually see how I'm positioning and how I'm trading the markets on a daily basis. So please go ahead and follow the link in the description below to join up in the ARCa Bulls trading team. Okay, team. Other than that, please, I know that a few of you are going to see this. So at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, which right now it's about 6:06 p.m., I'm going to be streaming the first track. I'm sorry, the first week of the Track 4 students for the ARC Masters Course 17-week mentorship program. Okay, so I want to see you there. Come by, say hi, and see if it's something that you want for yourself. I have 5 seats left available. 4 actually now. I just got one more confirmed. So I have 4 seats left, maybe 3 because I'm seeing an email come in. Oh my goodness. So just let me know and then we'll go ahead and get this thing. So this is, I'm streaming it live in respects to getting those last 3 or 4 seats filled. Okay, team. So definitely come out on the YouTube. It's going to be streamed publicly live on YouTube. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue the analysis here and see what other kind of targets we have. Okay, so again, so if we find a short-term bounce, here, and if we fail that 33 or the 30-cent zone, price action is likely to continue to the downside, right? So let's look left and see what we have there as a potential support. Well, now we jump into Rhino's thesis, right? Because there is a way to kind of look at these potential support bottoms. So this, let's see. I think it would be something along the lines of me. Okay, let me redraw this, right? Because that could be a FOMO wick right there. So I can take into account the prior wick and see if I get any better. Yeah, I do. Okay, there we go. So this is looking like it could be a secondary support. Okay, so if that's going to be the case, then over the next few days, price action can drop to around 1674. And 1674 is a range. It is also an inflection. This is all 1674 right in here. Failing these areas here, that can lead into the thesis that you all kind of already heard me talk about. It's in a gap right in here at around the 10-cent area. Okay, so let me just go ahead and kind of point that out first, right? So let's just say 1674. We'll draw it right in there. Okay, so let's do the 1674 right about here and then push it to the side. Okay, and then bring in the further inflection. Resistance here, support here, lots of support grabs right there, right? So yeah, it's an area that we can use as a potential bounce. Okay, a failure here, of, I would say anything as small as maybe even an hourly to a 4-hour candle can lead price action towards the downside. And the final, I don't know if it's a final, right? But I want to go ahead and give you this tiny little gap that not a lot of people are noticing, okay? And this is why, I have mentioned the 10-cent thesis on GTII upon the failure of the 4302 support. Okay, so this is an area here that we have to keep an eye on because of this gap, because of this 5-day gap, critical 5-day gap. We can use those gaps. Yes, yeah, of course, it's been filled, long time filled, but we use these gaps as support in the future as well. You'll go ahead and learn that in the master's course too, and how to trade that. Okay, so let's just go ahead and speculate here, right? So that top side is 997, just about 10 cents, 974 bottom in that gap. Okay, so let's just go ahead and observe price here. Make sure to remember what I told you about that potential bounce area, right? And then we can go ahead and move along here, okay? But yeah, just know for a fact that this has some bottom side supports here. It's just that this price action is kind of sliding right now because I spoke about that. There's not much support here, right? So the bears would take advantage of that 4302 break for a downside. All right, you guys. So now know that that's kind of what I'm looking out for. Okay. So I think this is a pretty good place for us to kind of, end the analysis here. I got about 20 minutes to prepare for the ARC Masters course week 1 live stream. So make sure to get your butts there and see if it's something for you. Okay, team. I appreciate everybody for subbing on by. You know where to find me. You know where to ask the questions, right? Let's go ahead and do this thing. Please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. Never, 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 ever, ever, never. I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be cool. But with that said, team, I wish you well, a very, very good rest of your night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.